My Kako, a Como by the Curtain Call, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. Seabury Hall put on a stylish, faithful, respectfully attenuated production of Shakespeare's As You Like It last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which featured two of Shakespeare's most well-known monologues, his Seven Ages and A Fool in the Forest. Marsha Kelly directed this gem, and she also designed the very nice set that was stylish and extremely effective. Because there was only one set, scene changes were basically entrances and exits. Act 1, Orlando, Max McManus, the youngest son of the recently deceased Sir Roland de Boys, is treated harshly by his eldest brother Oliver, Mono Brotherton. Bitter and angry, Orlando challenges the court wrestler Charles Richard Hernandez Bustos to a fight. When Oliver learns of the fight, Oliver tells Charles to injure Orlando if possible. Duke Frederick Pokaikilani Davis Colorado has recently deposed his brother, Duke Sr., Eliana Moore, as head of the court, but he allowed Sr.'s daughter, Rosalind Kaiki McMillan, to remain. Her best friend is the new Duke's daughter, Celia Ruby Mackey. Rosalind is in love with Orlando, and after he bests Charles in a wrestling match, she gives Orlando a chain to wear. In turn, he is overcome with love. Act 2, Orlando learns of his brother's plot against him and flees to the Forest of Arden. Duke Frederick banishes Rosalind. She also seeks refuge in the Forest of Arden with Celia. They both take new identities, Rosalind as young man Ganymede and Celia as his shepherdess sister Aliena, along with Touchstone Cole McManus. The Court Fool. Act 3, they come upon Silvius, Sean Cortez, a lovesick shepherd. He loves Phoebe, Liana Santos, a scornful shepherdess. Ganymede and Aliana set up home in the forest. Not far away and unaware of the newcomers, Duke Sr. is living a simple outdoor life with his fellow exiled courtiers and huntsmen. Orlando and his servant get nourishment from and are welcomed by the outlaw courtiers. Jaques Aviva Mizell, a melancholy fellow, tells about meeting a fool in the forest and then launches into the famous All the World's a Stage, 7 Ages of Man speech. Ganymede and Aliana find verses addressed to Rosalind hung on the forest branches by Orlando. Ganymede finds Orlando and proposes to cure Orlando of his love. To do this, Orlando will woo Ganymede as if he were Rosalind, even though he really is Rosalind. Orlando consents and visits Ganymede/Rosalind every day for his lessons. In the meantime, the shepherdess Phoebe has fallen for Ganymede, while the shepherd Silvius still pursues her. Furthermore, Touchstone, the court fool, has dazzled a country girl, Audrey Lillian Mills, with his courtly manners. Audrey deserts her young suitor, William Brian Ing, for him. Act 4, when Duke Frederick orders Oliver to the forest to seek his brother, we learn Orlando saved Oliver's life, injuring his arm in the process. Rosalind/Ganymede is overcome with her feelings for Orlando. Celia/Aliana and Oliver fall in love with one another. Rosalind decides to end the charade and devises a plan in which everyone will get married. Act 5, as Ganymede/Rosalind promises Phoebe that they will marry, Celia will marry Oliver, Touchstone will marry Audrey, and Orlando will marry Rosalind. She makes Phoebe promise that if they, for some reason, don't get married, Phoebe will marry Silvius instead. On the day of the wedding, and with the help of the god Hymen, Kabai Island, Rosalind reappears in her female clothes. Duke Sr. gives her away to Orlando, while Phoebe accepts Silvius. We learn Celia's father, Duke Frederick, has left court to become a hermit. Thus, everyone is happy, except maybe Phoebe, who marries someone she doesn't love, and Silvius, who marries someone who doesn't love him. Marsha Kelly has trained and assembled a stellar group of young people who are being exposed to the greatest playwright in the English language. Ms. Kelly, in collaboration with Todd Van Amburgh, have made some judicious cuts which bring all 5 acts in under 2 hours. Remarkably, they haven't lost any of the great moments in this play. As Rosalind/Ganymede, Ms. McMillan created a proud and confident woman who is on top of everything and has a scheme to deal with any difficulties she is having. Her sidekick, Ms. Mackey's Celia, has a crisp, clear delivery. Her elocution is perfect. She is a worthy, loyal friend who doesn't hesitate to leave her father, the Duke, behind to be with her friend, and she plays along with Ms. McMillan all the way. Master McManus's Orlando is a besotted lover and a difficult foe when wrestling. He wants the cure for his romance, but consistently seems to be on Maui time, coming late for his appointments. His older brother Oliver, Master Brotherton, is a passionate and devious sibling who transforms when he sees Aliana Celia. The fool is a traditional character in Shakespeare and often is one of the wisest of all characters. In this play, he acts as a foil to Celia and Rosalind, and he falls in love with Audrey, a shepherdess. Master McManus morphs in Ms. Mill's presence into an erudite Svengali. Jaques delivers both of these well-known speeches, A Fool in the Forest and All the World's a Stage, in a low-key, matter-of-fact manner. Like these words are not a big deal. It is an interesting choice. Master Cortez plays the desperation of Silvius in a very pronounced manner. He knows desperation and how to play it. When he triumphs in the end, we are all rooting for him. The apple of his eye, Ms. Santos' Phoebe, is clearly more taken with Ganymede than Silvius. Her scenes demonstrate her antipathy toward him, and she milks the seduction scenes with Ganymede for all their comic value, and we love them. Ms. Santos was very comfortable in Phoebe's skin, and she created a thoroughly credible character. There are 23 characters in this show, and besides the characters I mentioned, everyone contributed mightily to the success of this show. They should all be proud to have been a part of it. The play was set in 1958, and Andre Morissette, the costume designer, did excellent work finding the right garb to bring out the stylized period. Seabury shows always look great. Kudos go to Peter Della Croce for the sound design. Rather than actors wearing wireless mics, Mr. Della Croce placed 3 microphones downstage, thus freeing the actors vocally while providing the audience with the amplification they needed. Another aspect of the period was the music. Ms. Kelly used music from the 50s strategically and to fine effect. We heard excerpts from Love Me Tender, You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, Wake Up Little Susie, The Twist, and The Lion Sleeps Tonight. What fun! Miss Kelly didn't only direct this gem, but she was the set designer as well. It was a simple yet elegant depiction of the settings and worked for all the play's needs. Miss Kelly had these actors on top of their work. Scene changes were seamless and rapid. It was a real pleasure to see the outstanding work these young people did. I look forward to their next endeavor. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho!